Hello, welcome back to Diversity Talks with Pam. Today I've got two special guests, in-house guests, my two sons, Russell and Andrew. Welcome, boys, to the channel.
Thank you very much.
So today we've got a juicy topic that we want to talk about. It's about curfews. So what is the right time to come home from party, from going out with your friends? What is a reasonable time to come home? So we're just going to open the floor. We're just going to have a discussion, really. We are sitting at home just, talking about curfew. So I'll open up to Russell. I'll give him the floor first just to have his opinion on this curfew.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I think the right time to get home is, there's never a right time to get home, and it's also like different depending on where you're coming from. So getting home from what? So I believe if, let's say, it's just like a normal school day, back in my days when I used to go to school, like secondary school, the time I would normally get home is like around 5 p.m. 6. That's the time I just set myself, and I just thought I needed to be home at that time. And the reason for that is I didn't want to get in trouble, and I didn't want any questions to be asked, like, where were you, this and that. So that's what I just believe. So if I'm coming from school, like 5 and 6 is a reasonable time for me. And yeah.
So why was 5 and 6? Why did you pick 5 and 6? Was there any particular reason?
Yes. So
because you could have picked 3, you could have picked 4.
Yeah, that's right.
So why?
That's true.
5 and 6.
Why 5 and 6? So before I moved to England, I used to, obviously I grew up in Zimbabwe. So I used to live with my grandparents, and they used to expect me to be home like around 6 or 5, 6, around that time. So growing up, that's the time I've always used to, I was used to get home by. So when I came to England now, when I was like around 10, that's when I just set that time for myself, and because I just thought that was the right time to get home. Mm-hmm. So, that's why I just believe 5 and 6 is just, a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Andrew, what is your take on this? So Russell set himself for 5 and 6 to come home because that's what he grew up setting himself to come at that certain time. So do you have a certain time that you have set for yourself as well? Or you've got a different opinion?
My opinion is more, it's not really a time limit, it's just when you finish your priorities. For example, when I go to the library, when I finish, I come home. When I finish football, I come home. So it's just, whatever time you finish doing whatever you're doing, you just come home after.
Okay. So, moving forward, I've got a question. Russell said he set himself a time. Andrew is saying whenever he finishes his priorities. So, does the parents ever say in setting up a time for their kids to come home? Or it's up to the individual child?
Well, let me just clarify something. Right now, I don't get home at 5 and 6. This 5 and 6, yeah, it's not for right now.
The truth is coming out.
No, not 5 and 6, not right now. 5 and 6, yeah, that's when I was like in secondary school, as I mentioned. But in terms of like setting the times, I just believe parents have a say to a certain extent in terms of, if you go beyond a time they normally expect you to be home, that's when they, have like concerns, or like they reach out. Let's say if you're home, like it's a certain time, let's say 10 p.m. you're not home, they'll like message you like, where are you, this and that, or get home, because they're not used to you being home, you know, at that time, especially when you're, you know, still in secondary school or like you're still a teenager. But obviously, when you get older, the restrictions are more like less in such a way, you know, it's nothing where they expect you home at a certain time. But yeah, that's what I just think. Anyways, what do you think, Andrew?
I think, oh yeah, they do. Parents do have a say, but like back to the time thing. I think as long as like they know where you are at all times and know what you're doing, know how you're doing, I don't think it's a problem. What time to get home and stuff.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So at least we've got a say as parents, but to a certain degree, according to to Russell and Andrew. But anyway, I can, you know, say when I was growing up and being a girl child, I was told you need to be home at 6 o'clock. Nothing about 6 o'clock. So I used to follow what my dad used to say. That was me. And I also understood why he was saying what he was saying, because I'm a girl child and it's different, I'm sure, with boys. But as a girl child, I'm sure he was trying to protect me, and he wanted me to be safe. And I think also for him to know that his child is in the house at 6 o'clock, not above 6, then I think for him it would make him feel safer as well. Which goes back to me now as a parent. Even though I've got boys, but if they're out there, not so much as Russell, because Russell now is an adult. But if I've got, you know, Andrew, he's 16, but still, if he's out there and he's not in the house by 10, I get worried. I start thinking a lot. I'm calling him, I'm texting him, where are you? So it's natural for a parent to be concerned. It's natural for a parent for their child to be safe. But there has to be, I think, communication and agreement. And like Andrew said, as long as I know he's safe, then I don't think it's going to be a problem. But let's talk about when you go to a party. Because as teenagers, you go to parties, and your parties are not like for 10-year-olds or 8, 9-year-olds that starts in the afternoon. Maybe they start at 12 and then by 5 they'll be finished. But for adults or teenagers, I don't know, I'm sure you agree with me, they start anything maybe 5, 6, 7. So what is the reasonable time to leave the house to go to a party? And what is the reasonable time to come home from a party and not, you know, make your parents get so worried?
I can't lie, I haven't, obviously, like, as a teenager, majority of parties start at like, not majority, but the earliest a party would start is like 6. That's the earliest time I've heard a party start.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So why do they start at that time? Why not start in the afternoon when it's daytime? You can start your party and still go home at a reasonable time.
I didn't like his parties at it, so I didn't.
But you are a teenager. Maybe you might know why they start that late. Is there something, you know, behind starting late, or, you know, we are discussing. I need to know, you know, as a parent as well.
I think it's like, I don't even know. You could do it in the morning or whenever in it, but I don't know. It's just I didn't hear of parties in the morning.
Russell, you've had a lot of experiences in these party times.
Nah, to be honest, yeah, I'll just tell you about one experience which I had. I think it was the first party I ever went to. That was like when I was 16, around your age.
Wait, the The first party you went to, you were 16.
Yes, first teenager party. Yeah.
And how many of you? You are 16, and how many of you attended so far? You are privileged, huh?
Nah, first teenager party.
No,
Because
privilege.
growing
You
up
are
here,
privileged.
I was scared. I was just scared of getting in trouble. Even in school, I didn't get a lot of detentions or anything. You get
Amen to that.
Yeah, I was so scared. I think I only got like 3 detentions from year 7 to year 11. 3 detentions.
Same.
Amen to that.
Anyways, yeah. So I was just, I don't even know what I was scared about, but I was just scared of like just being in trouble, like just going on the wrong side of things. So 16. That's when I got invited to a party. One of my friends said, "Oh, there's a party. Do you wanna come?" And then I was like, "Yeah, why not?" So I asked my mom. My dad wasn't home at the time. I think he was at work. So I asked my mom, "Oh, can I go to this party? It starts at 7. This, and that." And then she was like, "Yeah, that's fine. Make sure you give him an 8." I was like, "Yeah, no problem. That's fine. I've never been to a party." So I was like, "Okay, cool." I asked her. This was like around 5 p.m. when I asked her, and then I got ready. I got to the party at 7, exactly at 7. But tell me, why did I get to the party and there's no one? The only person that was there is the host. So I was thinking, is this party even going on, or like? So the host was like, "Yeah, people come later, this and that." I was like, "Okay, no problem." And then an hour went past now, and then it was 8. That's when 1, 2 people, a few people started coming in. And then I was like, "But this is the time I'm meant to be going home."
Your
So
time is up.
Time is up. But the party hasn't even started. It hasn't even started.
And mom at home, I'm looking at the time like, oh, Rassi's supposed to be
He's meant
home
to be
now.
home. So I just, sent a message. I think I messaged you or called you or something.
Mm.
And I said, "Can I stay for an extra 30 minutes, 45 minutes?" And then she was like, "Yeah, no problem." So at this point I was happy, So I stayed for an extra 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And then, at that time, that's when more people started coming. Then more of my friends started coming, this and that. That's when I could actually see the party beginning, to actually get somewhere. And then I was like, "Do you know what? Let me not call my mom. Let me just go home, ask her, and then just come back." Because the party was like 5 to 10 minutes away from my house. So, I just quickly went back home. I asked her, and then she had to ask my dad, and then my dad was like, "Yeah, it's fine." And then I went to the party again, and then this time I had to be home by, I think, 10:30. Then I went to the party around 10:30 now, 2 hours later. That's when the party was starting. As in, by starting, I mean, like, that's when it was getting exciting. Do you get what I mean? You've been to a party, yeah, that's when it was getting exciting, people are dancing, the songs I like are coming on, this and that. I'm getting excited, I'm like, and then more of my friends started coming in at 10:30. And then me, instead of saying hi, I was saying bye.
Hi and bye.
I was saying hi and bye. And then everyone was just confused. They're like, "Russell, why are you leaving so early?" Me, I'm thinking, what? This is early. Me, I thought it was like very late. But that's my experience. And then the party obviously finished like at around 12:31, the next day. And then I was just like, next time I'll just try and convince my parents to stay later. But yeah, that's what I just think. So when it comes to party as a teenager, ideally I would have, loved to stay like around 12 a.m., 1 the next day. But yeah, I think parents, they don't understand that sometimes. But what do you think?
Yeah, we don't understand because we'll be worried. We were teenagers before. We know what happens at teenager, parties. There's drinking, there's girls, there's drugs, and all that. So we'll be kind of worried that you are not getting into the same, same things that other children get involved in. Obviously, we know we brought you up in a good home, but we don't know your friends, if they will influence you. We don't know if you want to be part of the group. So the fact that it's too late and it's happening at that particular time of the day, we kind of get worried.
But
So
isn't
you also need to understand where we are coming from as parents. We will be very worried that, is my child safe? Is he drinking? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? So the earlier you come back, the better for us.
no, but isn't that means you have to trust your child as well? Because if you think about it, yeah, if how are you meant to know whether to trust your child without trusting him? Do you get?
Yeah.
So like, if so, you basically will never know to trust him or not because he's never had the chance to prove himself or herself.
So how do you prove yourself?
By letting him.
I can let you go to a party and come home at 12, but how do you prove yourself that you were not involved in the things that I've mentioned that happens at parties?
No, that's as I said. You're just gonna have to trust your child and believe him. If you don't want to, then you have to.
So it's all about trust, yeah?
Yeah.
We just have to trust each other and get on with it. Okay, agreed.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Trust is a very big word, You
Yeah, but when it comes to trust, it comes to like what are you doing for you to get that trust? Yeah, I mean, because you can just say, yeah, you have to trust me, this and that. But like looking at you as a person, what type of behaviors do you do? Like what do you do as a person for you to gain that trust? Because you can't just get trust. You have to gain it.
you have to gain it.
Yeah, but then again, you can't judge someone based on, for example, me and you can't judge or say I would do this if I go there, if I do this because I go there, because of something I do at home. I mean, it's two completely different things.
No, but that's how you judge someone, because what you do at home, that's what I know.
No, but I'm
So
saying
now
that,
when you go out, I just take, if, okay, for example, if you are disrespectful at home, I'm sure I'll just say that's what you do outside. Because if you can disrespect me, your mother, you can disrespect your teacher, you can disrespect a stranger.
yeah, exactly.
So that's why this Russell is saying that what you do, or even the friends that you hang out with, might make me not to trust you, because maybe I know this your friend and that your friend, they are not good friends, but you still hang out with them. And then when you tell me that you want to go to the party with these certain people, I'm not at ease because they are not good friends. So then it makes me not to trust you, not necessarily you, but to trust you with your friends, because I don't know what can happen. So who you hang out with as well makes a difference, if you understand.
Yeah, that's true though. That's true.
Because you become who you spend most of your time with.
Nah, I agree to disagree.
Do you?
Yeah.
Mm.
It depends on what type of person you are to be easily influenced or not.
So what type of person are you?
I'm like, me and my friends are like, we have similarities, but we're completely different. If that makes sense.
Okay.
And I don't think you can. It's like obviously it's normal for people to get adjust to what they're normally around, but not all people do that. Some people just don't get influenced that easily.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but do you know it's if I read this quote or I heard someone say something about if you hang around maybe 6 broke friends,
You'll be broke.
you're the 7th broke one.
Yes.
Or if you hang around with 6 rich people, you're gonna be the seventh rich one
Mm,
because you're learning from what they're doing.
they do.
You get what I mean? Because there's 6 of them. They're not gonna learn from you because you're just one person. You get what I mean? But you're learning from what they're doing.
But that's not realistic because you can hang out with 7 great friends, but you still have like 8 rich friends. Like you don't only hang out with a certain amount of people.
So you're saying you've got a set of friends.
Yeah, there's a selective.
They are broke ones and then they are the rich ones.
Yeah.
So you hang out with both of them.
So if you do both, it's like, you're not.
But within
Yeah.
time, you lean towards one.
Mm.
Because right now you're still 16. Me when I was 16, I had it's not even friends. It's just a lot of people but you just call them friends. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
When I left secondary school, the group became smaller, and then when I went to university, even became smaller. So eventually, these people you're saying friends, they're gonna get smaller. So when the group becomes smaller now, that small percentage that you have will then define who you're gonna become, like who you are as a person.
But then it doesn't, or it gets smaller, but then it gets bigger again because you meet new people. If I'm not mistaken.
But like Rasi said, you meet people, and they are just people you are mingling with, but they are not your friends. But we are talking about friends, the people that you are close to.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Yeah. So friends is a good indication. So how would you go? Have you been to any parties?
Yeah.
How many? Because me when I was your age, I've been to one. Like I said, I've been to one.
Tonight, the Andrew is privileged, yeah?
I don't know. I don't really go to parties. Most of the time it's because like I already know the answer, and some of the time it's because like let's say I ask more to go like cinema or to eat in town or something like that than parties, because you can like parties. It's not like you can do it any time. Like it's like special events like birthdays and stuff. Whereas cinema and go in town to eat, you can do that like any day.
And in the daytime as well, and like parties, which goes back to what we were saying. If you ask me to go to a cinema, if you ask me to go out to eat, I'll gladly say go, come home at a certain time. But when it comes to parties, nighttime, people you are hanging out with, then it's a
Okay, so
problem.
now I've got a question here.
I have a question.
So you said parties at nighttime, but daytime is fine. But is the concept not the same in terms of at the party there's still girls, there's still alcohol, there's still these type of things. But then so the concept is still the same, but the only times was this like it's what.
So it's easier to do things in the dark than at daytime. Because at daytime, there's light. Doing drugs, most people who do drugs, they don't do it in the open. They'll be hiding and doing it under tables and all that. But when it's daytime, everyone can see you. So the chances, yes, it can happen, but the chances are very small than when it's in the dark. Even maybe girls and all that, you might be hanging out with a girl there. Maybe it's a daytime. I can see you, Tina, you're talking to a girl there. But at nighttime, you might go in a corner that no one can even see you. So, like I said, we've been teenagers before. We know what happens. We know the things that happen at parties. So we are just trying to, for you to be safe. So, yeah. So daytime and nighttime, I would rather let you go whenever at daytime rather than nighttime. You might not do it at nighttime, but for me, for my sanity and for me to feel that my children are safe, I would rather you do it in the daytime.
Oh, so it's not about basically. It's not about the party. It's about the time of which you're going. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Oh, okay.
So it's about when is it happening?
When would you say? Well, I have two questions in it. The first one is like when. What time do you consider late? Both of you.
Personally, from a mother's point of view, the latest is 12.
No. Like in general, like what's late?
What do you mean in general?
Like,
But it depends. If you're coming from a party, that's why we're trying to split it, to say you are coming from school, you had a football match and all that, and you are coming from a party.
for parties, what's late then?
So as long as it's dark, for me it's late. As a parent, for me it's late. When it starts getting dark and my kids are not in the house, I'm like, God, where is he? Anything can happen. Someone can stab you. Someone can do this. But if you are walking in the streets at daytime, everyone can see you.
When you say cool, so when you say late, yeah, is it late as in the time to be home, or late as in
Yeah, late is the time to be home.
So 12.
Okay, when you're coming from school, you finish school at 3, Tina, and when it gets to 8 p.m., you are not in the house. That's late for me.
I didn't consider that as late. What do you think, Russell?
It's not late.
I don't think it's late.
Why?
Especially because it's like something to do with school. I don't think it's that deep. If it was like, let's say, cause you know how sometimes like in the early secondary school, I used to come home at like late because I'm eating McDonald's or something. If it was that, fair enough. But I'm actually at the library, GCSE. I think it's reasonable.
What do you think, Russell?
Okay. I see where he's coming from, but I think, yeah. Because like you said, if you're in McDonald's, then you consider it's late. But if you're doing work, it's not late. But you know what? I think the time is still late. So if you believe 8 is late, the time doesn't change. Whether you're doing your work, whether you're in McDonald's, whether it doesn't matter where you are. As long as you believe 8 is late, then it's late. But what I now believe is, depending on what you're doing, it's not. You should be understanding. Like parents should understand, why maybe you're getting home after that time, which you believe is late.
When it comes to a parent's point of view, it's all about safety. It's all about you being safe. Okay? So it doesn't matter what you are doing. It doesn't matter if you are in McDonald's or you are in the library or you are at a party. I still get worried no matter what you are doing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I will still get worried. So as long as I know that you are safe. Okay, let's say you've got a football match. I know you're at a football match and it's finishing at 8. Right? Like I used to do, obviously, when you were younger. And then I'll pick you up. I know that you are playing football. There are adults there. You don't have to walk home, or you don't have to catch a bus, or you don't have to catch a train. I'm just picking you up from another adult and to me. Then I know that you are safe. But when you leave and then you are on your own and you are traveling, you are going on the bus, you are going on the train, you are walking in the dark from the train station. As a parent, I'm worried. So from a parent's point of view, it's not about what you're doing. It's about, are you safe?
So it's the time. So 8. You said 8 was late. So if you're picking him up, let's say from school, from football, at 8, or let's say at 9, is 8 still late for you?
It's still late, but at least I know I'm picking up from a safe place and I am picking him up to go home.
Okay, so it's about
So
more
that's
safety.
that's
for
what
you
yes,
in
that's what I
terms of-
said. That it's more about safety,
Mm.
you know. But the fact that he's going to walk from school, he's going to catch a bus, he's going to walk in the dark on his own. There's no adult there that I can say he's protected.
Okay.
So until he gets in the house, and then I'm like, whew, he's safe, he's home. But until that time, I'm just thinking, is he okay? I'm texting him. Where are you now? Are you in the bus? Are you on the train? Where are you? You see? So, as much as we want to talk about curfews and times and all that, you also need to understand from a parent's point of view. We parents, you also need to understand from your point of view. So, it's all about communicating, it's all about understanding, and I think things will work out well.
Okay. That makes sense.
So another like topic. What do you lot think of like sleepovers? Because I remember one time I asked you, it wasn't a sleepover, it was a party, but obviously people were sleeping over in it. And I must have asked you, not because I wanted you, just to see what you'd say in it. And you know what I mean? So what's your opinions?
So, I think this is a different topic that we need to
No, do you know?
ponder on another day.
Nah, do you know? Okay.
But I don't know about you, Russell, but I don't think you've ever had any sleepovers. Me, when I was growing up, we never had any sleepovers unless we are going to our grandmother's house. That was our sleepover.
That's a sleepover.
Not going to a friend's house, or we never used to do that. But anyway, it's something that maybe it's another topic for another day. But today we're just focusing on the curfew, and I think we've butchered it a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's all about, in a nutshell, it's all about having a communication between parents and kids. Just know your child, know who your child is associating with, trusting your child as well. So there's no particular time that we can say, okay, a child should come home at a particular time. Every household is different.
Okay.
So
yeah, do you know what? Yeah. There's no particular time a child can come home. And that was the main discussion of today. So now, from a wife's point of view, do you think that you have a curfew or like a time that you need to be home?
Ooh, I didn't see that coming.